This morning, I've been thinking about Angie. She has broken up multiple times with her loved one, and yet keeps on going back. There is something going on which she doesn't understand, and she needs someone to tell her. Angie, God is calling you to cross over from the Old Testament to the New, from the world to heaven. A new way of loving, 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 not like the old way of owning and commanding, but just loving, 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 and obeying God's call, and obeying God's call, and loving, 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 yeah, yeah, oh yeah, God's calling Angie, just as He calls all others, and few are that hear. God calls her to love, but not as the world knows love, in ownership bonds. Their rights of control and price tags with conditions, but to love different. A new way of loving, 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 not like the old way of owning and commanding, but just loving, 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 and obeying God's call, and obeying God's call, and loving, 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 yeah, yeah. New Testament love as God's steward, not owner, to judge by the heart, not by your own heart, but by the heart of the love, their truth to guide them, rather than your own. Enter into their temple, see God through their eyes. A new way of loving, 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 not like the old way of owning and commanding, but just loving, 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 and obeying God's call, and obeying God's call, and loving, 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 yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Touch not anything to rearrange the pictures or their furniture, but take off your shoes, leave not even your own dust. Love them in this way, not unwilling, against their own God and truth, to the least of them. A new way of loving, 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 not like the old way of owning and commanding, but just loving, 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 and obeying God's call, and obeying God's call, and loving, 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 yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. This is God's loving, inviting but not owning, giving gifts freely, with no strings attached, unconditional loving, as God sent steward. This is love's calling, time to wake and leave the world, enter a new law, a new way of loving, 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 not like the old way of owning and commanding, but just loving, 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 and obeying God's call, and obeying God's call, and loving, 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 yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Even heaven's law, where all are stewards of God, obeying just Him, owned by another, all part of a grand oneness, a kingdom